Good evening, Yonkers. It's Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Happy Saturday. Today is it's December 3rd, 2022. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, the ugly about politics. Politics is a dirty game. I didn't know how dirty it was until I got somewhat involved. Am I? Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, the ugly truth about politics. Good evening. Happy Saturday. Buenas noches. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Today, I had a good weekend. It's very interesting. Politics makes strange bedfellows. Politics is very, nasty. It's very vicious. You can't really trust anyone. Who do you trust, right? Who do you trust when you think you know someone, you find out you don't know them at all? Complete stranger. Who do you trust? How do we get together and organize, right? And do it. And I'm talking in general, not just against, these term limit things or just moving forward in general when we want to accomplish something. How do we organize, right? And trust each other and work together. So I wanted to go over really quick this article from the Yonkers Times, and this is part of the ugly truth about politics. Term limits. Yonkers Times writes about term limits. Now, the Yonkers Times is the official, quote unquote, official newspaper of the city of Yonkers. This is ran by an editor-in-chief, is Dan Murphy. And he goes on to say, the Yonkers City Council meeting held on November 22nd to consider extending term limits for the mayor and council to 4 terms, 16 years, was one of the wild Yonkers City Council meetings that I have covered over 20 years. Emotions on both sides of the issue resulted in an inflamed public in attendance. I believe that this passion for or against term limits came to a boil in the council chambers as a result of the toxic, listen to this, toxic online and social media presence covering Yonkers politics. I wrote about Mayor Spano considering a 4th term over the summer. I've been talking to many elected officials, both Democrats and Republicans, about what will happen when and if term limits will be on the council agenda at the end of the year. Some of my conversations focus on the belief that the mayor would not run for a 4th term. In the early fall, a rally was held in opposition to changing term limits. 5 people showed up, and many prominent Yonkers Democrats did not take a stand on this issue. And so this is the ugly truth about politics. There are many lies, including this article here by Dan Murphy, who's covered Yonkers politics for over 20 years. This is one wild meeting that he's seen, right? First, he says that he goes on to say that the heck is that line? He's the agenda in the early fall rally was held in opposition to changing term limits. 5 people showed up, and many prominent Yonkers Democrats did not take a stand on the issue. There was no rally. That was a joke. Someone sent out a flyer to a bunch of people. They put no name to it, no organization, no face, and people didn't show up because of that. Anyone that was really wanting to come out and oppose the term limit extension did not come out because they didn't believe this to be real. And it wasn't. It was nonsense. It was created to specifically do this, right? To create this narrative. And this is the ugly truth about politics. False narratives. That's something that runs wild in politics, right? And they want to make Freddy Vazquez in Basement Politics like the guy that's putting out toxic online media presence, right? And that's a lie. And so they did that so that way they can say, oh, look, no one showed up. So people must want the 4th term. That was all the game. That was all the trick, right? If you're going to set up a rally, you should put your organization name on it. You should put your name on it. A mysterious rally, right? And then they were offering transportation. How are you going to offer transportation if no one knows who you are? They said transportation will be provided. Call or email if you need transportation. Email who? Right? No one knew who this was. And it was someone that obviously had a list of a bunch of people in Yonkers, voters, So more than likely, anyone that has a list like that is someone involved in politics, so they can do mailers or email blasts, right? And let them know about, come out and vote. And so it's BS. And that's one of the lies here. And if Dan has been covering Yonkers for over 20 years and he doesn't know that, then he too is in on it. That's just my take. That's just my take, right? So he said he wrote about a Mayor Spano considering a fourth term over the summer. I've been talking to many elected officials in both Democrats and Republicans about what will happen when and if term limits would be on the council agenda at the end of the year. Some of my conversations focus on the belief that the mayor would not run for a fourth term. But really, did you really believe he was not going to run? I mean, are the public and everyone who is not really all the way into politics or covering it for over 20 years like you know more than you? Because we all knew. That was no secret to us. Not at all. Not at all. What up, brother? How you doing, Romario? What's going on, man? Good to see you. Will, what's going on? There was no bus or anything that day. They were lying, right? How are you going to call and ask for transportation if you don't know who they are? You're going to get kidnapped? Hey, come pick me up over here, right? You don't know who you are. Mysterious person. I'll see you when you get here, right? Jeez, even Uber is not like, that mysterious. On to the council meeting on November 22nd. The crowd overflowed into the hallway. Several attendees were asked to leave the chambers. One of those persons was Hector Santiago, the Stop and Shake founder. A video from the chambers showed police officers not in uniform escorting Santiago into the hallway. Santiago says that he was assaulted by a police officer in the hallway. The Yonkers police say that Hector was being escorted from the chambers for unruly behavior. In the hallway, he struck a detective. The detective struck him back. The group fell to the floor and he was placed under arrest. This incident, like all criminal incidents, will be adjudicated in a court of law with due process afforded to all parties, said YPD Lieutenant Dean Papopoulos. I'm sorry, Dean. Lieutenant Dean. Lieutenant Dane, we still don't have the police report. Santiago is considering legal action. Is it unfortunate that Hector had to spend the night in jail? More to come. So again, the ugly truth about politics. Why was Hector Santiago removed? Was he unruly? Why wasn't Tasha Diaz removed for being unruly? Because just before that happened, all I can hear was Tasha Diaz calling people beggars, yelling across the chamber. And then a fight ensues, or what appeared to maybe be a fight, but then next thing you know, it's Hector with one arm, trying to back away from people trying to grab him. So I don't understand how he was being unruly. And who was any more unruly than the majority leader? No one. No one that day. Good evening, Denise. How you doing? The council vote was 4-3. Members of the council, Councilwoman Corazon Pineda Isaac, and Councilman John Rubo and Anthony Moranti are either considering a run for mayor or have considered it recently. Rubo voted for extending term limits, so he is not expected to run. But look for Moranti and Pineda Isaac, who both vetoed or voted against extending term limits, to make an announcement this spring. So you see what he's doing here? Do you guys see what he's doing here? All right? He's already setting up a narrative, and one that's negative, against Corazon Pineda and Moranti. And now one is a Democrat, one is a Republican. So this is a bipartisan thing, right? It's not about favoring one or the other. I'm showing you that he is already setting it up. Whose side is he on? He obviously wants, to kind of throw a little jab and say, hey, well, they only voted no because they want to run. So wait for the announcement this spring. That's what he's saying there. But you don't mention that the others voted yes because they want to stay in office and they want to run again. Doesn't mention that. Right, Dan? Come on. Dan, I expect better from you. Council President Lakeisha Collins Bellamy and Council Majority Leader Tasha Diaz were both criticized by many in attendance for their vote in favor of extending term limits. What? Okay. Council President Collins Bellamy ran a council meeting with one of the more raucous crowds that I have reported on, and she did the best that anyone could have done, except if she cleared the chambers of visitors. How the heck? What? Are you kidding me? They are the ones that created the problem. Before they spoke, Tasha Diaz and the majority leader, there was no issues. except for the people that were booing. But who were those individuals? I don't know. But they were in favor of extending the fourth term, that's for sure. They were booing. They were never told to be quiet. The minute organizations like the Yonkers Sanctuary Movement put their signs up and chanted, they were threatened to be removed. This is unbelievable. And this is the ugly truth about politics. It's full of lies. And she explained her vote and put to rest any rumors about her becoming a city judge or getting jobs for family members. That's not true, because actually, according to many people who are talking about it, she furthered those rumors by what she said. She said, if I am voted out, it's going to be on to bigger and better things. And what does that mean? I mean, honestly, man, this is ridiculous, Dan, but I'm going to read it anyway. Majority Leader Diaz also responded to accusations made against her online and in the audience. She also explained her comment that night in an op-ed in our paper, of course, and online here at YonkersTimes.com. We reviewed the video and found Diaz responding not only to members of the audience, but her fellow members of the council. Yeah, she was, to what she thought was hypocritical behavior. She was loud, but wanted to get her point across. She was loud, but wanted to get her point. Dan, is that the best you could do? I would have said she was passionate and wanted to get her point across. Right? You could have done better than that if you wanted to kind of, make us sound nice. That's unbelievable, Dan. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yo, what's going on, Danny Sullivan? How you doing? All lies. Absolutely. That's all lies. This guy's writing a bunch of lies. Certain aspects of the city charter should never be allowed to be amended by city council. Absolutely. I agree with that. Term limits is 1,000%. Freddy Vazquez for Mayor 2023. Thank you. She told on herself. Absolutely, Romario. She most definitely told on herself. She said, I'm not going to be a judge in January, although that's my dream. But nobody said January. And then she says, my husband's not going to become a YPD in January, although he passed the test. He took it and passed. After the primaries, yeah, we should be seeing that, but it will happen at some point. And the comment that really bothered a lot of people, however, wasn't even about her and those jobs, and that she said if she gets voted out, she'll be on to bigger and better things. But the fact that she minimized, and I think, really was condescending when she said, my husband has a career. It's not like he works in a supermarket or some trivial job like that. Right after that, Tasha Diaz was calling constituents, those who have come for assistance and for assistance for their communities, beggars. Beggars. Which, by the way, I hear that the Yonkers NAACP has issued a statement, or will be issuing a statement in regards to that, in defense of Diana Sanchez and the Yonkers Sanctuary Movement, as they should. And I would love to have Diana Sanchez, if you're listening, to come on the show and discuss that, as well as Pastor Coleman of the Yonkers NAACP. I would love to have you on the show. Let's have a conversation. So it's unbelievable how no mention of that is even in this article. No mention of how he disrespected or how she disrespected Tasha Diaz and spoke down to constituents and said, you're going to be there begging soon, or, later on, or whatever she said. Unbelievable. I know that there was consideration to put the changes to term limits up on a referendum. Why that referendum did not happen, I do not know. But I did see the hundreds of attendees saying, don't take it away. Don't take away our vote. Let us vote. They wanted to vote in a referendum, but there were elected members of the city council made the decision for a second time in 4 years. So that you're there kind of changing it. It is okay to disagree on this issue. There are columns in this paper and online that I don't agree with, but that's okay. There is an election for mayor next year. That is when anyone can ask for your vote. Let's enjoy the holidays and start of the political hot stove again in 2023. All right, Danny boy. Not you, Dan Sullivan. I was talking about Dan Murphy. I'm running for mayor, Danny. I told you, brother, sky's the limit, man. And I'm not even mean and not even playing. That's serious. All right. And so that is the ugly truth. That's part of what the ugly truth is these news pages and news sites that are official or that get compensation, taxpayer dollars, I might add, from the city in order to do these reports. That's where they post all the important announcements that we need to know. And by the way, the Yonkers Tribune only posts them 3 days before they actually happen. And you can go look, see when he posts the meetings. They're always 3 days before the actual meeting. Now, is that enough time? Just like, was it enough time they gave before they passed this legislation to extend term limits? Did we get enough time? Did the people have enough time to process what was going on? Was everyone informed? Did they make a real effort to educate and inform everyone here, as many people, not everyone, as many people in the city of Yonkers? Most people will say no, they did not. They did not. Today I did something I had not done in almost 3 years. Today I had coffee and a 2-hour-long conversation with my mother. Our relationship soured after members of her family decided the best revenge on 2 people who work with children and opening up a daycare would be false CPS allegations. Right? My aunt, having been so upset that I called her out for some issues, I'm not even going to talk about it really, was so angry that she called CPS on me 3 times. 3 times. My cousin would call the 4th time, although she would first threaten me with it before doing so. So fortunately for me, I got ahead and I called CPS and I said, my cousin's going to be calling, guys, look out for it. And that's when they knew that these were false allegations, right? That's when they knew. Anyway, so after Ruros had my wife on his, and after, these allegations, and we started to fight to kind of bring this to light, because we learned that so many of these reports were false. And my wife even went on Ruros Yonkers Voice and she spoke about it, got a lot of views. So after she went on his show, we decided to become active in trying to help this situation, because it was a horrible one to be in. And we couldn't do anything. I was going to, calling, I should say, and going to police, the DA. I was trying to reach out to our elected officials. And this is when I really started to get, upset by the way our elected officials responded to constituents. They didn't respond, at least not to me, right? At least not to me. And so I said, we have to do something. So we became active and we decided to, work on this anonymous thing where people can call and not leave their information. So anyone can use this as a damaging weapon against anyone, as long as you know their address. And you can have CPS at their house. And depending how, bad you make up the allegations, they will go there right away in the middle of the night, like they did to us, waking us up that night. Right. So that's how we began advocating for members of the community. We started People United for Social Honor, or PUSH, our nonprofit 501c3, to be advocates to people in the community. We wanted to do something about this because we learned just how many people, a lot of people we know, good people, good parents, good parents, more importantly, had gone through this for one reason or another. For example, a very wealthy friend and mentor of mine had CPS called on him because his tenant or former tenant was being evicted. So she said, I'm going to get revenge on you, right? Another example was someone I know very well for a long time who had an ex-girlfriend who thought revenge, because he had a new girl now, would be to call CPS on him, right? And the allegations were all unfounded, but the process and, that they had to go through was really stressful. It's scary, especially when it's the first time, right? So, this is something is very, to me, disgusting to do and should never be done, because you're talking about the children. You're affecting children here, not just the adults, right? We would eventually learn that 84% of CPS reports were false, right? So we pushed hard, working with county legislator, well, specifically my wife, County Legislator Christopher Johnson, and State Senator Shelley Mayer. Two amazing people, some of the most honest elected officials we have met. While we will just learn just how often this was done, right, to people, never would it cross my mind that this could be done by elected officials. Never would I thought that elected officials would stoop so low in an attempt to silence someone who was speaking out, someone who was speaking about the deception, the greed, and the corruption displayed among some of our elected officials. I never would have thought I would have another CPS case, simply because I have a podcast that brings truth to voters, gives courage to activists, and confidence to those who have been scared, intimidated, and retaliated on. just like I have been, right? And so tonight I want to expose the plight of brave advocates, activists, and community leaders who have now found themselves being attacked, very much like I've been, by some of the same people that have attacked me. But before receiving my new CPS case for allegedly beating up a parent, right, some people called me to ask about me being held hostage, right? Like when people started to see this, right, about this stuff, people were actually calling me. They were concerned. They said, "Are you? Oh my God, I'm seeing you holding somebody hostage." That's what some people thought, I was holding somebody hostage. So this created a big, false narrative that spread quickly. And I had people calling me that I had not spoken to in years. Concerned. They were concerned, right? They were very concerned. Family members, actually, that I had not spoken to, drove up to my daycare center because they thought that it was actually happening at that point in time, that I was holding somebody hostage in there, right? So they were frightened, and concerned about that lie that was posted on the Yonkers Voice. I was not holding someone actively hostage. So when I heard that some of my family members went there worried about me, it made me realize even more that moving forward and making amends is what really I wanted to do, right? So I, seem to be, working now on this progress. I wanted to move forward, and I went to visit my grandmother on Thanksgiving, and I gave her a hug, right? I said, this has got to be, got to move forward. We haven't spoken, so we got to, everything around me now, I need people that love me and care about me, that really know me, right? So I went to my grandmother and I made amends. And then I reached out to my mom. And today I sat with her and I spoke. Because I want to make sure that, I have the right people around me. It's getting crazy. And that's the ugly truth about politics, right? Those who play to win in politics will stop at nothing and, at destroying someone, anyone, any political opposition. Anyone, to silence them from speaking the truth. Now, I'm not saying the first accusation were politically motivated. The first CPS stuff, that was some personal family issues, right? Some nonsense, but they were false, just, very much as these are now, right? But the ones that recently I have, or the one CPS report or case that I recently got, is definitely politically motivated. Absolutely. Absolutely. They don't care about your family and the trauma they cause, the financial burden they place people on, the stress on people's marriages and overall lives. This is the ugly truth about politics. They need to remain in power at all cost. So why after 3 years did my mother and I sit down to talk? Because she, like many others, are concerned about me. The ugly truth about politics. I never mentioned families unless they had ties to the city, as it was relevant to such topics as the Family and Friends Network. Sure, I may have mentioned the fact that Jamie Spano, the wife of City Clerk Vincent Spano and baby brother of the mayor, works for the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency, but it is relevant. It is very relevant. That is the agency that is handing out tax breaks to the developers. They also facilitate a lot of real estate transactions here in the city of Yonkers with city property. She has zero knowledge or experience as well. But they say that it's a no-show job, allegedly. Allegedly. And that's relevant. However, I have never mentioned Mary Calvi or any of the mayor's kids. What about Corazon Pineda's husband? Not that I believe she is involved with anything, just making the point. I've never mentioned him. I've never, and I could have for some reasons. What about Tasha Diaz? I have seen her a few times myself, by herself, and I've never disrespected her, never been aggressive to her. Even when I went to the building, when she came out after Vinny Spano told me that she had beat up her stepdad and where she would be. I asked her a question. She said no. I walked away. I was not rude and disrespectful or aggressive. I mentioned her daughter. Why? Because she is going into the police academy. She currently works for the parking authority. Now, many have questioned, was that her reward for the term limit extension vote? She will become a police officer here in the city of Yonkers. Many have been applying and waiting. And it's not like their scores are so great. So that's relevant. The ugly truth about politics is that they will lie, they will attack, then they will play victim. But we must see the pattern. The child porn and porn on the computer trick. How many times has it been done now? The fake profiles, people on Facebook and Nextdoor app, many new ones popping up with my name or something similar to my name. The people coming out of nowhere to attack me and other people I've never met. And I want to show you just how ugly politics here in the city of Yonkers is. These are text messages messages and comments on Facebook. This is Margaret Coleman. She is the wife of Pastor Coleman. Yonkers NAACP, Pastor Coleman. Look, your lack of being a pastor is unprofessional. I remember when you were stealing the food from the People's Church. You are entertaining gossip, negativity, and hate, and you're a pastor. My pastor would never entertain negativity, negativity energy. You should be ashamed of yourself. And then she goes, this is her response. Brandy Nickel, who are you? I don't know you. And that is a bold, baseless lie from the pit of hell. So you need to keep my name out of your mouth. I do not entertain people who have no clue of my abilities or skill set. The work that I have done in this community and even and every community speaks for itself. I take my call as a pastor and leader seriously and with integrity. So whenever you would like to speak to me, come by the church to have a conversation, but refrain from making whatever was said thereafter. She doesn't even know her, just like I didn't know her when she attacked me. This is the message I got from this Brandy Nichols. Don't know who she is. You took the words out of context. I really don't care about this no more. And I don't like the fact that you take other people's articles and post them. You're like the National Enquirer, like Wendy Williams. You burn riding me all day, but I'm confused. I don't see anyone liking your post. Like, I try to be nice to you because everyone says you're crazy and you're a troublemaker. Nobody likes you or listens to you. Like, you're married with significant, this has been going on. Like, who are you? And why are you tagging so many people? Now I'm about to watch this video. I try to be respectful because I believe you knew my baby brother. Don't know who passed away a few months, in which I am also still mourning the loss of my mother. I recently was in a coma, cardiac arrest with incubation and had 3 to 6 minutes for them to save my life. I am in the healing process now, but I will not tolerate no disrespect on my name. It's going to be something disrespectful because it is so. I prefer not to watch. Or is this information because you saying it's... I don't even know who you are. And I'm sorry that you've gone through all that. I really am. But maybe that's impacting why you are speaking with people in the manner that you are. And I hear that she may be a district leader and is tied to the Yonkers Democratic Committee. And this is the ugly truth about Yonkers. Politics. We passed the pettiness. This is another text to somebody. Why would you pile on that young lady has mental health issues? She is going after Tasha Diaz. This is obviously someone who supports Tasha Diaz. And numerous other people, including me, right? They love playing the victim. We all acknowledge she needs help, so we have all decided not to give her accusations any attention and hope that she will just stop. If you don't believe what I'm saying, reach out to Tasha Diaz. Oh, because she is going to concur with this. Ugly is an understatement for Yonkers politics. It's criminal. What's going on to undermine the people? The ugly truth. That's right, Keisha. And then Dan Murphy. And we already read this. But he has the lies here in his article. And look at Hector Santiago, what he had to go through. Thank you to everyone that's been checking on me. I've been back and forth assessing all my injuries, right? He had been grabbed up and removed. But the one that should have been removed was Tasha Diaz, right? These are all distractions to take the focus off the real issues. Absolutely. Guaranteed they are. I agree. And they do. Because people are human and they have emotions. And maybe they have thick skin, but the people that they attack that are not relevant to what's going on in politics, that stay out of it, gets under their skin, and it does impact people. And so that's the problem, that if you do it enough times and you harass people enough, that it does impact them. And so we have to say something to these. Everyone has to be on the same page with these individuals. So that way that they'll stop and they'll learn. That is one of their tools. Why do you think they do it? Lorraine Lopez, someone was messing with her. You know, I've been around and I have dedicated my life to public service. Yes, I have several mugshots and most have been for defending my people, and the one where I was guilty, I paid my dues. I ask God and the people for forgiveness and I repent. Whoever doesn't accept it, F them. What I can unequivocally say is that I have been there for my people. It saddens me sometimes how so many so-called Latina leaders kiss up to the mayor. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate this. And I reached out to Lorraine because I wanted to say, I'm sorry. I don't want to have no beef with you, Lorraine. You are a Latina woman, and I would love for you to be a part of this change. And I know she got her life and she's doing her thing, so I respect it. But we have to come together at least and say, hey, this is the problem, and all point our fingers at the problem. That way it cannot point at all of us back, and it will be weakened even more because it will be coming from everywhere, from all of us. And I have the men thinking they're legit. Why have you got none not going after them? No one has done more for the community than I have in my 30 years of service. I challenge any one of them to walk down the streets of Southwest Yonkers and see if they are recognized. They won't be, I assure you, elitists that have been playing the games. That's right. And I've been saying it too. Y'all couldn't hold a candle to me. Yes, I said it, but we can discuss that further. Right now, I need to address something that is running heavy in my heart because I truly cared about that person. Make no mistake about this. I absolutely will not be threatened. Look at this. Hear this. I will not be threatened nor bullied into speaking on behalf of anyone. Wow. What is she saying there? How many other people were bullied and threatened into speaking on behalf of someone? You recognize my power, and yes, I do have some after 30 years in public service and 56 years in Southwest Yonkers. Now I'm saying this. I'm angry because the person attacked me and brought me right back to the past. Domestic violence situation where I was locked up for 2 years and beaten on a daily basis by an individual my young soul thought loved me. Let me be very clear. I'm not, need to. The point is there is that it affects you. It impacts you, even though it's distractions. People are human. And that's the ugly truth about politics here in Yonkers. Here we go again with the Brandy Nickel and the fake pages that try to resemble my name, Fredo Vazquez. Going around making comments on other people's page, trying to get them to dislike me. And people think I make fake pages. I don't. You see my face. Always. Fredo Vazquez, who give me a kiss? This was meant for Hector. Maybe Tasha will give him a kiss. I don't know. A kiss will make a boo-boos go away, but 50,000 will probably do it too. What are they saying there? You got to read between the lines. Why are the networks trying to sue you when these same platforms and people have been spreading lies and defaming individuals and organizations for years? Yeah, because I'm actually saying some stuff and I'm reaching more people and I'm getting people excited here and they don't like it. Again, Brandy Nickel, then she messages me. I just would like to know, is this a scammer? Sincerely, Brandy. I said, no, it could be Steve Squig or Vinny Spano or Frankie Jarris. They are known to do that. Who do you think is behind this, acting like they are you? I don't know, and I don't care. It's not me. Then they want to comment on my stuff, so I tell them, welcome back. Just curious, how much do you get paid for this fake profile? He goes, I do it for free. Tommy T appreciates me. I don't know what that means. Who's Tommy T? And I said, good answer. So he allowed all that OT. I don't even know why I said that because I don't even know who Tommy T is. The Yonkers Newswire, which is one of the most disgusting pages out there where most of the lies start and originate from before they're shared onto the YV, had one of its administrators exposed, Frankie Jarris. Yeah, he's an administrator of the Yonkers Newswire. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever been attacked by this page? Well, call his daddy, Zahi, up, or maybe his mom when you see her at work. Say, hey, Seda, why is your son doing this on Facebook? How disrespectful did you raise that kid? And then we have other members wanting to join in. Mr. Rivera John, not that long ago, was my friend. All of a sudden, he's my enemy. He says, Lorraine Lopez, I'm famous now for speaking the truth because he's getting traction for speaking about me. And that's what he liked, so he continued. But he was my friend not that long ago. Why didn't he text me? And why didn't he respond to my texts and calls? Because these people are here to cause problems among our community. And I want to identify them because they do have impact. We are human. And this is the ugly truth about politics here in the city of Yonkers. Yonkers is so corrupt, 1,000%. Here's John Rivera here. Hey, big bro, call me when you get a chance. Oh, I'm your big bro. I'm his big bro. Hey, brother, call me when you get a chance, please. I just called you back. I'm on a conference call. I'll call you back, brother. Ask Ruvros about his son, the Yonkers police officer, who is on the desk duty now without a gun because he got into a fight where I heard allegedly another man was stabbed. He didn't ask him about that, but he talks truth, that guy, John, doesn't he? Please stop it, John. You are a part of the problem here in the community. When we talk about this division, you are helping cause it. If you're not going to be positive, John, stay away. You're not living in Yonkers, stay away. And God goes to everybody else who wants to go and attack people. If you're not relevant other than because you attack people, regular people, you're not speaking of elected officials or city employee or officials. You're not. You're speaking of regular people. And you're speaking coincidentally of people who are speaking against the administration. What a coinky dink. What a coinky dink. And so enough is enough. I'm tired of it because I want people to get together. I want unity and I want to be done with this division. And I want to see these nasty attacks on everyone stop. Enough. We have important issues to discuss here. We have important matters to focus on. And they want to get us distracted. So if you are causing distraction and division, you are part of the problem. And we are going to make sure we let it be known. We don't appreciate you, and we don't want you around. That is the ugly truth about politics. And so today I sat with my mom, and I had a great conversation, and I think we're healing. And it's important. Healing is important. Because at this moment in time, with all the attacks that I'm under from all which ways, I don't know who the hell is who. I need my mama. I need mom. And I need my wife. And she's there. But she too is being attacked. And she too is feeling very uncomfortable these days. All because I speak about the ugly truth of politics here in the city of Yonkers. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Thank you, folks, for watching. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the love. And I appreciate the genuine support that I'm getting. And, you know, I want to let everybody know, in case you don't, that the CPS allegations recently are extremely false, right? There was no parent. The video did not happen on the day they said it happened. That was 2 years ago, and we were victims. That is why they put a blurry police report up. They didn't want you to read what actually happened. Isn't that crazy that they will create that type of narrative to hurt my business, have CPS there? And Vinny Spano knew damn well the best time to have CPS there, because I told him that when he was trying to butter me up with a grand opening ceremony, which he reached out to me and said, hey, you want to do it? I said, okay, whatever. I told him what time would be best. And instead of doing the grand opening ceremony, he had CPS come to my business. That is from sources. They are alleging that. I'm Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. The nasty, ugly truth about Yonkers politics. And that is why we need change. And that is why we have to vote these individuals out. Let's not forget. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you. Another good one, Fred. Love, peace, and soul. Thank you, Romario. I appreciate you. Thank you, Roxandra. Thank you so much, guys. I do it for you, and I'm willing to take it. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, please continue to support and share the page. If you support me and you back me and you want to see this change, we do it together right here on Basement Politics, folks. Have a beautiful and blessed night. Thank you so much. I'll see you mañana. I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered, the only source for your news, unbiased and unfiltered. I keep it honest, real, and sometimes I do make a mistake, but I will correct myself. All it takes is a conversation. You can reach me at politicwithfred@gmail.com. Don't hesitate to contact me. Don't hesitate to pick up when I contact you. I am Freddy Vazquez, and yes, I have concerns for my safety. And so I have taken necessary precautions. It is what it is, but I'm not backing down. We don't back down. Nah, it's not what we do, right, Yonkers? We don't back down, Yonkers. We Yonkers. We from Yonkers, and we don't back down. That was quick, that's it. It was 41 minutes, wow. The fact that you said that is just kind of flattered me a little bit. Yes, Stella Sucha, would you love to come on and talk? Let's do it, Stella. I'd love to have you on. We can talk for 2 hours, you know. I love a good conversation. So anytime, reach me, politicwithfred@gmail.com. And I want anyone who wants to come on the show, who has something they feel is important and significant to speak about, reach out to me. I will give you access. Danny, yes, I know. Let me handle all this crazy just that's just been happening. But yeah, I know. I just got on Raymond Velez. What up? How you doing, baby? Happy Saturdays. Freddy Vazquez, Basement Politics. Check it out. This is the ugly truth of Yonkers politics. We got to come together. Yonkers, you have to vote these individuals out. Are you winning? Have you wanted a city job but have not gotten one? How many times have you applied now? How many times have you taken the test and you just finally gave up? And who would like a city job? We have to do this, Yonkers. Together, we have to make the change. We got a cobra grip on our city here, and we got to break free of that. All right? I'm Freddy Vazquez, helping everyone break free from the constraints of corruption. Let's be up out of here. Watch it now. Oh, shit. Here we go.
Freddy wins. Fatality. Freddy wins.
I wonder if our neighbor got a heart. Tell me about that text, Allah. Come on, man. Do the right thing.
Wins.
I promise you, when you do the right thing, although doing the right thing in life is a lot harder than doing the wrong thing, you will be much more rewarded when you do the right thing. I promise you. Do the right thing.
Fatality.
Either way, I mean, I got to ask you about it, right? The judge, the lawyer, my attorney will.
Freddy wins.
You made those some interesting comments. By the way, Freddy Vazquez showed up, Allah. He showed up on my page. We smoked him out.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
In another one, Mr. Rubo lied to me, and I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Getting Helen off easy.
Yes! Wow. Wow.
In another one, Mr. Rubo lied to me, and I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Freddy
I was raised in housing.
fatality.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want some butter chicken. So thank you.
We are the real McCoy. Benefit you. Because he doesn't cover. He only talks trash. Benefit you. Because he doesn't cover. He only talks trash. so that my competition, the guy who always talks about me, so that my competition, the guy who always talks about me.
I know you have a lot of women that work in your office. And I was also told that you favor some over others. I'm hoping that this is not true, Sammy.
But I am the bad guy.
I know you have a lot of women that work in your office. And I was also told that you favor some over others. I'm hoping that this is not true, Sammy.
But I am the bad guy.
I'm hoping that this is not true,
I am
Sammy.
the bad guy.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez. Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddy Vazquez.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
I was raised in housing.
No!